Hello, good morning. I am Casey Pacheco, the host of this holistic networking channel. And today I am coming with a message. I am going to try to keep this to 10 minutes, but it's powerful. And I'm talking about why it's important for you not to be a coward. Now, first thing first, I am not calling you a coward. I am just putting it out there. Let's talk about what a coward is, right? So, a coward is not someone, a coward is it's really an action, right? So, it's an action based off of the emotion of fear. So you feel fear, so it allows you to take a certain action or inaction. And usually that fear is driving the action that you're taking that leads to being called a coward. Now, I thought it was interesting in the Bible that in the book of Revelation, it talks about the people who did not make it into the kingdom of God. And it listed cowards. And I was like, wow, that's deep. But I realized that it's actually a thing because so much of our world is filled with fear. And fear is a real emotion. I would say sometimes we wish we weren't afraid of certain things. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like for me, oh gosh, I tell you, it's ridiculous. Roaches, like I know technically I am bigger. Even if the roach dead, I am so scared. I'm like tippy toeing around. I don't like to see it. I don't want to touch it. Like I think I almost broke my leg one time running from a dead roach. It makes no sense. And that's just how the quality of fear is. It makes no sense. Sometimes your fear is like legitimate. Like I know a lot of nurses, sometimes we work in areas where we see, okay, this is not right. This is actually harmful for the patient, or this medication is making the people sicker and sicker and sicker. But like I have a license. If I say something, I'm afraid of my job. I'm afraid to talk about holistic modalities because what if it contradicts with my license, or what if somebody thinks I'm promoting something, or call me some quack. Like there's like serious fears out there. And then I think about nurses who immigrated and they're in a space where they are making more money than they ever made and they're providing for family back home, but then the ethics and their morals are constantly challenged because they're like, something's not right. I don't like how the people are being cared for. This is not right. But yet still I have this legitimate fear that I need this job to pay my bills. I need this job to help family. I need this job to survive. And on top of that, I work really hard for this degree. I just don't want to get in trouble. And I think I speak for nurses because I am a nurse, but for other people in different professions, the fear is just as real. And you can go on, there's a lot of fears. There's even fears for some of my business owners here of starting a business. What if people don't, readily pick up on my service? What if I have competition and everything goes? What if the investment and the risk that I take, what if it doesn't pan out and I actually end up having to file for bankruptcy, Like these are real fears. Like I'm not just saying like a feeling of, oh, I'm scared. I'm like real fears, real emotions, because you have real consequences. And at this point, when you're saying, okay, I don't want to be a coward, I just say acknowledge that the fear is real, acknowledge the emotion exists, and with good reason. I was reflecting back on Dr. Martin Luther King, and I said, he was such a brave man. And I'm sure he had fear. I am sure he had fear. But I think the point that he was trying to make is that there was a lot of injustice in the world. Like he was just saying, like America, these first world countries, they are so rich. We have abundance. We have, even the poor people here are rich compared to certain countries. And he was saying there really is no reason for this amount of poverty, this amount of starvation, this amount of injustice to be happening around the world, whether it's injustice for Black people or for people from different countries. There really is no, we have enough intelligence as humanity that these things don't really need to exist in our time period. But yet they still do. And I propose that he was saying this because good people, because they have this emotion of fear, whether it's the fear of being seen, or the fear of dying, or the fear of what the consequences of speaking up and speaking out would mean for them and their family, injustice prevails. So I think he was stirring on people. He was stirring them up to tell them that they can beat this emotion of fear. They can have the fear, feel it, but remember their why. And I'm tapping that into that today because, my digital marketing company is not just to give you results. It's to help you reach your purpose. It's to help you bring out whatever it is inside of you. It's to give you that motivation to keep going. And that deals with your why. That deals with your why, and your why has to be greater than the fear that you feel. I'm going to say that again. Your why has to be greater than the fear that you feel. Your why is going to push you to be creative. Your why is going to push you past the feeling and say, this is right, this needs to be done. You know, a lot of people think when they see someone show up and they're so courageous and they're stating their point, or they show up and they're just so confident and they know whatever they're doing will work. They think that all of that exists within the absence of fear. And I'm here to tell you that fear is just an emotion, it's not an action. So bravery, right? Courage, those are actions, right? But you can still have the emotion of fear and have bravery and courage. Just like excitement, right? That's an emotion. You can feel excited, but you could not do anything, right? You could have the action of you could just be a lazy person and not do anything, even though you feel excited. Because having an emotion does not necessarily have to equate to the action that you take, right? So being brave, being courageous, you could be a scaredy cat. Look me, I am scared, scared, scared. But don't get into my why. When you really tap into and you sit down and you reflect on all the people that could benefit from your services, from your knowledge, from what you know, from what you've discovered, from what you think it's like common knowledge that people actually have no clue, right? When you sit down and you reflect on all the people who could, their lives could be so much better by what you know and what you have to share. The fear, I'm telling you, the fear takes a backseat and you shine. You really do. So, what I want to say in wrapping up, I'm sticking to my 10 minutes this time. What I want to say in wrapping up is emotional awareness comes before emotional intelligence. A lot of people say, oh, leadership, they really need to have emotional intelligence. But a lot of people, how could they be intelligent on something they're not even aware of? And a lot of people are not even comfortable sitting with emotions because of how they were brought up. Or for a lot, they don't even have the verbiage. They don't even know how to identify the emotions that they feel. And that's why I'm going to use the last minute to talk about what I offer in my program. So as a holistic consultant, I have this frequency scanner that helps you. It takes the tones in your voice, just like a lie detector, and instead of telling if you're lying or saying the truth, it spits out where you are emotionally through the words in your voice. It's super cool. If you want to try it, book an appointment on my website, preserversoflife.com. It's only $55, but it gives you so much insight, especially emotional awareness into where you are. And then it spits out the melodies or the tunes to bring you back into harmony or to balance your frequency by means of binaural beats. It is the coolest. So reach out to me if you are interested in getting a report. But I just want to say, even if you are scared, make a conscious decision whether you are going to be courageous or whether you're going to be coward. And that is simply how you allow fear to impel your next action. You could allow that fear to motivate you, or you could allow that fear to stop. Just because somebody gives you a warning or precaution does not mean it's a stop sign. Does not mean that you have to stop doing whatever you're about to do. It is just a time for you to stop and think about your next action. You can do this. I got your back. You could do this. Come on, shine, show up, be visible. I'm your nurse, Casey Pacheco, and I will see you on the next episode.